Good morning, women! Yes! Good morning, beautiful women and men. Please bow your heads with me in prayer. Father God, thank you for gathering all of us together. Thank you for the joy, the love, the peace, and the unity that's in this place today. Lord, bless this one-year anniversary gathering of the Women's March. Lift every spirit today and bring encouragement where needed in Jesus' name. Hashtag 2018, Rise of the Woman. Let's go! Let's get it! Amen!
Do I have any resistors here? Come on, you can do better. Any resistors here? Let us pray. God, creator of the universe, giver of all that is good, and champion for the poor, downtrodden, and those living in the social margins. We come this day thanking you for all the gifts of life we enjoy. Let us not be comfortable with our blessings while suffering, discrimination, oppression, and castigation exist in this world. Trouble our hearts and our minds so that we will work for justice and equality for all of your children. Agitate us to consider the plight of the poor, the sick, the weak, the infirm, and vulnerable. By your Spirit, keep us concerned about the difficulty of the distressed, the oppressed, and the depressed who live among us without the opportunity to live life to its fullest. As you were present in the beginning and brought order out of chaos, be present with us here. Give us hearts filled with visions of a better tomorrow, the tenacity to develop solutions to eliminate xenophobia, homophobia, racism, sexism, and resist the temptation to succumb to the hate-filled rhetoric and venom that is pervasive among those who despise cultural differences and denigrate religious diversity. Strengthen our resolve to do good, love each other as you love us, and stir the passion for the peace with the same spiritual life described by John Wesley not so many days ago. Let us do this without malice, suffering, selfishness, or acrimony. Fill us with your love, endow us with your wisdom, and give us a spirit of humility so that all we do on this day reflects your will for peace, justice, and equitable treatment of all humanity. Amen.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, we ask you, O God, in your infinite wisdom, to embrace us all gathered here today at the Women's March in your love, blessings, and compassion. We ask you, O God, to heal the many women who are hurting today and to bring peace to their hearts. We ask you, O God, to protect our children, our families, and our communities from the evils of the world that seek to divide us. We ask you, O God, to remind us we must love for all of our sisters what we love for ourselves. We ask you, O God, to give refuge to the refugee, the dreamer, the immigrant, to those who are fearful and scared and taunted and teased. We ask you, O God, to help unite our differences and bring us closer together and not further apart. We ask you, O God, to empower all of us to combat injustice, occupation, and apartheid around the world with our activism, advocacy to create a better future for all. And we ask you, oh God, to bless and strengthen the Women's March and power to the polls, because time's up and our time is now. Amen.
Shalom Aleichem.
To the one creator of us all, look upon us with loving kindness. See how we come in all shapes and sizes, creeds and colors, races and religions. Yet today we have gathered together as one in purpose to bring our power to the polls. Whether we are here to promote economic justice, to say time's up to sexual harassment and abuse, to defend the dreamers, to protect our environment, to safeguard LGBTQI rights, to fight for gender and racial equality, to improve public education, or to stop the gun madness. See that we are here. Dear God, you know that our causes are many, but look upon us and see that our resolve is united. Merciful Parent, bless us all with the courage to stand up, the voice to speak out, and the fortitude to show up, and the chutzpah to act out.
The truth can change you. What will truth do to you?
I just wanna be happy. But if I keep on doing the things that keep on bringing me pain, there's no one else I can blame if I'm not happy. Wasting time, but now I can see the biggest enemy is me. So I'm not happy. Cry yourself to sleep, shout and raise your hands. It won't change a thing, child, till you understand. Preach. If you're tired of being the same, if you're tired of things not changing, it's time for you to get out the way. Don't get stuck in how you feel. Say Jesus ain't the real. If you wanna be happy,
look at yourself and say,
don't you wanna be happy? I just wanna be happy. But if I keep on giving my heart for people to tear apart, the healing will never stop. So I can be happy.
And now, the co-chairs of the Las Vegas Host Committee of the Women's March Anniversary, Elaine Wynn and Rose McKinney-James.
It is my honor, my privilege today to welcome you to the Women's March inaugural Power to the Polls rally. I am so excited to serve as your honorary co-chair. I want to stop and take a moment to thank everyone, all of the volunteers, everyone who put their hearts and souls into making this day possible. Thank you. Let us take a moment to acknowledge that we stand on Southern Paiute land. I ask you to join me in a moment of silence for the victims of 1 October. Thank you. We're here today to launch the next phase of a movement that began with 4 courageous women and spread across the country and the globe. Nevada has distinguished itself time and time again, and so it's fitting that we've been selected for this launch. Making a difference begins by embracing our differences and finding common ground. We can and we will be heard. So I say, women, in 2018, electrify, empower, and engage. Please turn your attention to the screen so you can hear from our powerful Nevada women.
Hello, Las Vegas. I am so sorry I'm not able to be there with all of you today. I'm working in Washington, D.C. this weekend, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity to share a message of support as we celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the Women's March of 2017. Last year, nearly 5 million women and men worldwide gathered in the streets to stand up for our rights. We flooded the streets of hundreds of cities in 85 countries around the world. We sent a message that no one could ignore, that we're not going to keep waiting around for basic rights like equal pay for equal work, paid family leave, and reproductive choice. Last year, it was an amazing feeling to march in Washington, D.C. and take that message right to President Trump's doorstep. Today, I could not believe that we're kicking off the second worldwide march in my hometown. Thank you for being here today and for fighting to ensure that everyone, no matter the color of their skin, gender, sexuality, immigration status, income, age, or ability, is treated with the same respect. That fight for progress today and always continues. La lucha sigue.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Nevada's 3rd Congressional District. I'm Jackie Rosen. I can't tell you enough how badly I wish I was home in Nevada this weekend with all of you, and I'm really so sorry I can't be there in person. But I'm grateful to all of you for showing up and speaking out again for women's rights and voting rights today. 1 year ago, I was proud to join the Women's March in Washington, D.C. Little did we know that it would be the largest single-day protest in United States history. And this movement stayed energized in Nevada and across the country because there's been so much for us to fight for this past year. Protecting our health care, fighting this Republican tax scam, defending Planned Parenthood, stopping sexual harassment, ensuring equal pay for equal work, working for full LGBTQ equality, and protecting our dreamers and immigrant families. I'm honored to have a voice in Congress and to have this opportunity to put Nevada families first. to be one more critical vote to stop this reckless agenda, to put people over profits and to fight for our rights. No time is more important than right now, and I know I don't need to remind you all what's at stake in 2018. I want everyone here to remember there is nothing more precious than your right to vote. So don't forget to exercise that right in November. Thank you again for being here, and march on.
Women from across the country and around the world, including from those so-called shithole countries, welcome to the resistance. Welcome to Nevada, and welcome to the resistance. I'm Dina Titus, your representative from Nevada's 1st Congressional District. I wish I could be with you, but I'm in Washington trying to reopen the government for the good of the American people. But today, we march in the streets, then we march to vote, and then we march into the halls of government, into state houses, school boards, and the U.S. Congress. So much is at stake, and women can make the difference for our children, our dreamers, our environment, and our economy. So as Sojourner Truth said, no matter what happens, keep going. Adelante, siguen adelante.
Greetings, everyone. Before I continue the program, I want to extend a deep, deep gratitude statement to our sisters from the National March who selected Nevada to hold the official anniversary of their march last year in Washington, D.C. Thank you. And you will get to see all of these powerful powerhouses this afternoon. Yesterday, millions of women around the world took to the streets again. Today, we have seen that Nevada's women are already on the move. When we elected Catherine Cortez Masto, we sent the first Latina ever to the United States Senate. A good number, 50% of our congressional delegation are women. And joining us on the stage are the powerful women already serving in elected office in Nevada. We are tied for #1. I repeat, we are tied for #1 in the nation for women in state legislatures. Our 3 largest cities have lady mayors. Next year, which means very soon, next year, we hope that many of you who are here today will be filling this stage as well, because today we launch this continuation of movement as we power to the polls.
Ladies and gentlemen, on stage with us representing Nevada, from the Nevada State Senate, Joyce Woodhouse, Ivana Cancela, Pat Stearman, from the Nevada State Assembly, Maggie Carlton, Leslie Cohen, Olivia Diaz, Dina Neal, Shannon Bilbrey-Axelrod, Heidi Swank, from the Clark County Commission, Chris June Kiliani, from the North Las Vegas City Council, Pamela Goins-Brown, our Clark County Clerk, Lynn Goya, our Clark County Reporter, Debbie Conway, and our Nevada System of Higher Education University Regent, Allison Stevens. Thank you.
welcome to the stage our dear friend and partner, the president of the Planned Parenthood Action Fund, Cecile Richards.
Hello, Las Vegas. So, you are beautiful. So I've been an organizer all my life, and I always wondered, what if you planned a revolution and everybody came, and 1 year ago, women did just that. So I think when our country was in free fall, the Women's March got us out of our despair and out of our homes and into the street. And ever since that day, women have been shaking the foundation of America. So for 12 months and counting, the only thing and the one thing standing between this administration and their goal of ending access to health care and reproductive rights and safe and legal abortion has been millions of determined women. And the women, that's right, you did it. You're the ones who did it. The Women's March fueled the grassroots revolution that ensured that today, at Planned Parenthood health centers in every corner of our country, including Las Vegas, Nevada, our doors are open. The Women's March inspired airport protests in support of our Muslim brothers and sisters. It inspired millions of people to demand accountability in Congress, in Hollywood, and in workplaces all across America. And today, we stand in solidarity with the dreamers and in solidarity with the United States senators who are fighting back and saying, these are Americans too. All across the country, the Women's March inspired doctors and teachers and mothers to become activists and organizers and, yes, candidates for office. And from Virginia to Alabama and to last week in Wisconsin, women have beaten the odds to elect our own to office. That's right. Women of color, transgender women, rural and urban women. And these victories were led and made possible by women of color. So, right? So white women, listen up. We've got to do better. We've got to do better. It is not up to women of color to save this country from itself. That's on all of us. That's on all of us. The good news is, when we are in full-on sisterhood, women are the most powerful political force in America. And when we recognize that no one is free until everyone is free, right? And that means no matter what country you come from, no matter who you love, no matter what you look like, no matter what, we are unstoppable. Together, we've seen what's possible when one step becomes a march, when one courageous act becomes a chain reaction, and one voice becomes a movement. The great Audre Lorde said, "When I dare to be powerful, and when I use my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less important whether or not I am afraid." Last year, we dared to hope for a better, brighter, more equal and inclusive world, and this year, we're going to go out and build it. And if we dare to be powerful, and if we use our strength in service of our vision, nothing and no one can stand in our way. Let's go do it. Thank you.
What up, Nevada? Y'all ready for the next speaker? I don't believe you. Y'all ready? All right. It
to introduce to you a strong and unapologetic Indigenous woman. One who has continued to stand up not only for her own community, but for all of us. And one thing that I want you to know is that today you are witnessing history. I introduce to you Representative Paulette Jordan from the great state of Idaho. And you are about to lay your eyes on the first Native American woman governor in these United States of America. So let me hear you real loud for the next governor of Idaho, Representative Paulette Jordan.
Thank you, sister. I love Linda. And I love all of you. Thank you so much for being here. I actually want to tell you a quick story. But before I do, I want to tell you that my name is Paulette Jordan. And yes, I'm a proud citizen of the Coeur d'Alene tribe. And right now I am serving my second term as an Idaho House representative. And yes, I am running to be the first woman governor of Idaho and the first Native American Indigenous running for governor of the United States of America. So when I was 5 years old, my grandmother took me to a memorial event in my community of the Coeur d'Alene tribe in Idaho. And at the end of this ceremony, she brought me to the center of this area, this repurposed gym. She already expected great things of me. And from infancy, my grandmother raised me to be a leader, to have an influential voice in my community. But I have to tell you that as this young little 5-year-old girl, I was nervous in front of everyone, in front of all those people. My little body was shaking. But still, my grandmother, she handed me a microphone. She asked me to acknowledge everyone in the gym and to thank them, to express my gratitude for our remarkable community. And as I faced the crowded room and gave my thanks, I understood my grandmother's lesson. It was simple but essential, a value instilled in me by the most powerful woman throughout my upbringing, which is a leader should earn respect by paying respect. And 1 year ago today, we all marched together in our towns and communities across America. I marched on that day, January 21st, 2017, because it was the best way that I knew how to serve Idaho and to serve my country. I felt called to march the same way that I felt called to public service. And when I decided to attempt a feat that seemed exceedingly difficult, getting elected as a Democrat, a woman, and a native in conservative Idaho, I still won. But I ran for that House seat. And not just once, but twice. And this past year, after I marched with all of you, after I witnessed the power of all of us united, I knew it was time for me to attempt another difficult feat. That is why I am running for governor of Idaho in 2018. I'm here today because I want to issue the same call to all of you. It's time for you to run. I'm a mother of 2 boys, and in 2017, my son saw us march. They watched us organize to protect not just our access to health care, but our rights as women, as mothers, as sisters. They watched us organize to protect our access to our rights to life, to lead this nation. They heard many of us come forward with our stories full of courage and vulnerability in 2017. And in 2018, they will see us run. And they will watch as the government elected to represent them fills with women and immigrants and LGBT people, people with disabilities, and people of color. They're going to hear a new vision for our country, one that prioritizes justice for the many, not just a privileged few. I tell you, in the coming year, this election year, many Americans will hear plans for the future of their country. But this year, a historic number of those plans will manifest the visions of women. And I am proud to be one of the many women running for governor in the United States in 2018, and one of the thousands of women running for public office at all levels nationwide. I am proud to simply add my voice to this new chorus to share my vision, which is justice for all. And this is Idaho's future. This is the future of America. So since the 21st of January 2017, we've all seen the improbable come to fruition. We have felt the strength of our collective voice amidst the bitterness of a nation as divided as ours. And between news stories that terrify us and break our hearts, we've seen things that make us feel encouraged about our country. We've seen things we're excited to tell our kids about. And now I want to honor my grandmother and the values she instilled in me by thanking everyone here today. I want to acknowledge each of you for carrying this vital tradition into its second year, a new, more hopeful year with much higher expectations. We are optimistic today because we marched a year ago and because it worked. And because through the past year, through turmoil and pain for far too many, it quickened something powerful in all of us here, and all of us determined to uphold the integrity of our country. So I ask you to keep marching, and I encourage you to start running, as many of the greatest American victories began as silver linings on dark clouds. And today, as I hear my resounding country with new voices, I know that future victories are on the horizon. And finally, I'd like to give a shout out to my sisters in Boise who are marching today back home. I want to leave you all with a message that is simple yet essential, inspired by the theme of yesterday's Women's March in Sandpoint, Idaho, near my hometown. The theme was first she marched, then she ran. Now we have all marched. Now we run. God bless you all. Love you, my family. Peace, love, and no drama. Thank you.
Give it up to Representative Paulette Jordan! We're here at a business meeting, so I need you to do some work. I want you to take out your smartphones and register to vote, even if you're already registered. Make sure all your information is correct. So take out your phones and text P, the number 2P, 2, RT vote. So text P, number 2P for power to the polls. So text P2P to 788-683. Text P2P to 788-683. Y'all ready? That's right.
And now, please welcome to the stage the Executive Director of MoveOn.org, Anna Galland.
Hello, Las Vegas. And hello, huge cheers to all of the men and women and others who are marching this weekend around the country. It is such an honor to be with you. Do you know how beautiful you are? Woo! I'm Anna Galland. I'm the executive director of MoveOn.org. Proud to be here. Last year, when I rode the train with my 3 young children to the Chicago Women's March, every single seat was jammed and full. Every single seat. And when we got off the train, every single street around the march was jammed with people, pussy hats, hand-scrawled signs. It was just beautiful. And guess what? Yesterday in Chicago, the crowd was bigger. It's remarkable, not just Chicago, Denver, Austin, cities around the country. In the year ahead, we need to hold on to this feeling, this knowledge, that not only are we not alone, we are the overwhelming majority in this country. And together we are on the march. In the last year, all of us together, led by women, especially women of color, showed up at town halls. We showed up at airports. We showed up at congressional offices. We made phone calls. We organized in our communities. We got out the vote in places like Virginia and New Jersey, and yes, in Alabama. We resisted the worst attacks on our communities, on our values, and on our democracy, and we persisted. And again, against the odds, we've prevailed. Lisa Hansen, a Move On member in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, just celebrated with her local group the 52nd straight week of weekly protests at Senator Ron Johnson's office. She is persisting. Or Grayson Martinez, who's a young dreamer with the organization United We Dream. They have packed the halls of Congress day after day after day, and their courage and tenacity has inspired our country. So, every day, we have faced a new test. This weekend, for the first time in history, with the White House and Senate and House all under Republican control, they have shut down the government. I know. This is the one time we're allowed to boo. The rest of today, we're cheering. So they have shut down the government rather than to pass a bipartisan DREAM Act to protect 800,000 young immigrants. We need to send a message to Congress this week. Congress, get it together now. Pass the DREAM Act and children's health insurance and funding for disaster relief and reopen the government. So we will prevail in the fight to end the Trump shutdown, just as more often than anyone knew, in fight after fight over the last year, we've resisted and persisted and prevailed. And now, in this crucial election year, momentum is on our side. We're going to take our collective power to the polls. Marching to the polls is part of that long haul of work that we're going to do together, but it is essential to end our current crisis and lay the groundwork to tackle the chronic crises that we face as a country. So as we march to the polls, we're very clear who and what we are standing against. Let's also be really clear about what we're standing and marching and fighting for. What we're fighting for. We are marching for a future where there's a place of honor and dignity for everyone. We are fighting for a country where we understand our fates are bound up together. Together, we're all bound up in each other. For an economy that lifts up everyone, for access to health care for all, for peace, for our climate, for racial and gender justice, for our democracy itself, for our children and grandchildren. We are marching for the America that has never yet been, but will be. So let's do something to lay down a marker for this incredible year that we're about to really take together. everyone take out your cell phone. Hopefully you have it near because you just registered to vote. Take a picture of the crowd around you. Take a picture of your row. Take a picture of the sea of beautiful faces around you. And post it. This is the one rare moment where what happens in Vegas should not stay in Vegas. Let's share our beautiful faces on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Snapchat. Tell the world, we are here, and this year, any day you feel defeated, or any day you feel despair, look at this picture and remind yourself of our collective power. Remember this weekend, remember what we're fighting for, remember we're in this fight together. And while you have your phone out, if you text ACT, A-C-T, to 668-366, you'll sign up to join me in the fights we have ahead with Move On. So let's continue to resist and win through all the attacks, through the Trump shutdown, and through November and beyond. We're here on the anniversary of an amazing day, but really, this is a birthday party for a movement that has only begun to flex its power to transform this democracy. We will resist, we will persist, we will march to the polls, and we will win. Thank you so much.
Hey everybody, when you take those pictures of yourselves with the P2P, make sure you use the hashtag P2. When you take those pics, use hashtag power to the polls. Hashtag power to the polls. And now, please welcome to the stage, representing the badass women of Nevada, Louisa Blue of SEIU, former mayor of Las Vegas, Jan L. Jones, Astrid Silver of Dream Big Vegas, and Dr. Tiffany Tyler.
We ask that you stand with us in a decree. We decree that today, in this moment, the fullness of our personhood will be honored. I decree, as an African-American woman, that my other two fists will finally be honored and respected. We decree that from this moment forward, not another sister, mother, daughter will be lost in our communities to preventable causes. For far too long, we've earned cents on the dollar of our counterparts. We've been overrepresented in all the role systems and underreported in our demise. But this day, in this moment, we stand linked arms together to say, not another daughter lost. We ask that you join us not only in this collective call, but with a commitment to furthering this work when we leave here today. We ask that you stand in the brilliance of who we are, knowing that as women gather together, we can make change happen. Not another moment shall we rest in what they've asked us to swallow. But today we say, not another woman, child, daughter, person lost. Because we are gathered here with purpose. We decree that we are whole today.
Hello, Las Vegas! Hello, Nevada! Are there any union women in the house here? I want to give a shout out to my SEIU sisters and brothers, because these are the members that provide services to your community. These are the members that take care of the sick when you're in the hospital. So, my name is Louisa Blue. I'm an executive
about why unions are important. I've been a union activist and leader since 1977. I grew up with the union. And let me tell you about why unions are so important, because there are some folks that don't want us to organize. But we organize into unions for a voice, to be able to negotiate a contract so that you get fair wages, to be able to negotiate a contract so that you have good working conditions, to be able to negotiate a contract so that you don't face discrimination or sexual harassment and you can raise your voice without reprisal. So that's why a union is important. And let me tell you something else. There is no way in hell that people can live on minimum wage. Am I right? Ain't no way in hell. So we have to fight for a union, and we have to fight for a minimum wage of $15 an hour so that we have dignity and respect and can raise our families. So that's what a union is about, and that's what we're going to continue to do. So sisters and brothers, because we do have some brothers here, and we're glad you're here. All right? We're glad you're here. So let me just say, 2018 is very, very crucial. And it's crucial not only this year, but what we do till 2020. That's how important this work is. So, we have so much more in common than what divides us. So much more in common. So, if you are with us and you stand for racial justice, then we have something in common. If you stand with us for gender equality and women's rights, then we have something in common. If you stand with us for LGBT rights, then we have something in common. If you stand with us for affordable housing, then we have something in common. If you stand with us for quality, accessible colleges, then you stand with us. If you expect quality public education for our kids, then you stand with us. If you believe that we should have clean air so our kids do not get asthma, if you believe that we should have clean drinking water and not worry about what's in there, then you stand with us. If you believe that food that is grown by undocumented workers are not covered with pesticides, then you stand with us. If you believe, sisters, that we can make a difference, not only this year, but in the years to come, then you stand with us. So let's unite on common issues and common grounds, because today we protest, tomorrow we vote. 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 And let's not forget the dreamers. Let's not forget the dreamers, because we don't want our families to be separated. We do not want our families to be separated, and it is time that we acknowledge the hard work of undocumented workers in this country. It is time that we acknowledge that, and that we have to stand together. So, sisters and brothers, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? All right.
Buenas tardes, Nevada. Yo no puedo votar. Yo estoy indocumentada. I'm a dreamer. I cannot vote. People are choosing my life for me right now that I did not have a choice over. But who out there can vote? Who's going to register to vote? Who's going to get their cousin to vote? My 12-year-old cousin, Natalia, lives in Arizona. I will not allow her to have a racist as a senator. I will not allow my family to continue living in fear. My mother gave everything to be here in
for me to have a better future. My father gave his life working under the hot Las Vegas sun so that I could be here. And now they live in fear every single day that ICE will come and take them. And that's not a fake fear. That's not a fear that we can just overnight wish away. But you can protect us. Every single one of you here. Those that are undocumented. Estamos todos juntos. We're all together. Here in Nevada, we have proven. In Nevada, nosotros comprobamos that we are a state that fights for our immigrant community. Our immigrant community matters. Our lives are important, as well as so many of our friends that are out there fighting. Our Black Lives Matter, our LGBTQ rights, every single right out there. And right now, while we live in fear, do not be mistaken. We can say we are undocumented and unafraid, but our families are living in fear right now of being sent to countries away from their families. I can tell you from myself, I think about it every single day. If I will come home and see my mom and dad. That is real, and that's what our families are facing. And right now, our representatives are fighting for us to get a DREAM Act. And we all have to go out there and call them and make sure that our families are staying together. Thank you for being here in Nevada, but most importantly, go and vote. Vayan a votar. Registren a sus hijos. And also, our TPS families, we are with you. TPS, I hear them over there. TPS matters. Our families are important as well. Please register to vote. We need you. Thank you.
Give it up to the badass women of Nevada! Next up, help me welcome to the stage, celebrity chef, author, and activist, owner of, among others, Border Grill at the Mandalay Bay at Caesars in Las Vegas. Give it up to our friend, Mary Sue Milliken!
Hello, Las Vegas. It is so wonderful to be here, and you are awesome. Yesterday, around our incredible country, millions of people turned out to stand up for the truth of what democracy is. Now, my sash says, I miss America. But I didn't miss it on the streets of LA yesterday. I found it there in 500,000 people who showed up chanting, this is what democracy looks like. And I don't miss it today because of you. You're what democracy looks like. So democracy is in our hands now. It's in every hand that casts a vote. So show your hand if you will vote in the elections this fall. And show your hand if you will get as many people to the polls who will prove to the whole world what our democracy looks like. I am so proud to be a woman in this movement to make America, America again. I'm proud to be the owner of a business, 5 restaurants, 400 employees, where all of our workers are treated with respect, where it's ingrained and unquestionable the ethic that no one should ever be harassed or bullied for any reason. And I'm proud to be the mother of 2 fine young men who respect the rights of women and everyone to equality and opportunity and dignity. Yesterday, on my way to pick up my son to take him to the march in Los Angeles, I saw an elderly African-American woman in a manual wheelchair, all by herself, with a pink hat on, slowly making her way to the edge of the march, and it brought tears to my eyes. Because as a chef, I know that the combination of ingredients, diverse ingredients, equals far more than the sum of the parts. It's magical. And in our country, diversity is our biggest strength. Diversity of ethnicity, of economic status, of religious belief, and of gender. Celebrating and embracing our diversity is our superpower. It makes our country and our democracy strong and resilient. So I don't really miss America when I see my sons, my employees, my community, and when I look out and see all of you, I don't miss America. Because when we join together to show the world what we're really made of, then our democracy will be speaking. Thank you so much for coming out today and using your voice and your vote in every election.
How's everyone doing today?
Y'all ready to win? You ready to win?
I'm Alyssa Klein, Social Media Director for Women's March.
And I'm Brianne Butler. I'm a board member and the Global Director.
Jessica
Just Flow
Washington is a longtime poet and spoken word artist.
In 2015, she was named Alternate Poet Laureate for Clark County, Nevada.
She is the founder of Poet.
People of Extraordinary Talent.
An organization that deals with social issues such as racial tolerance and domestic violence.
Please welcome to the stage
Jess Flo
and Alyssa Taylor.
Broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round. You can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we go walk it out and move mountains, so we go walk it out and move mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again.
I rise like the phoenix from the fire. I rise because Sister Maya said you still got something to say and some words that still need to be spoken, because Tubman said we ain't got time to be laid down in no grave, child, you too woke. And because I still need to meet Angela Davis and Nikki Giovanni one day, and because my son's autism doesn't speak and I'm the only one who knows what he has to say. And because I imagine that someone needs this melanin to pop to help start their day, because I'm black girl magic and another black girl not rising to the occasion would be tragic, because unfortunately carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders has become tragic, like we're sprinkled in pixie dust. Bring back men like Huey P. is a must, and trust if he need me to ride, I will, because I've always had his back. They can steal our history, but that is a fact. Black men, I need you to remember that. I rise because Sojourner told me I'm the only one who knows the truth, and this blood that flows through my bloodline is living proof that I was put here in this revolution to fight. She said I'm the only one who still got the coordinates to get my people through the Underground Railroad to the drinking door that night. I rise to help those who held on sight continue to fight, alright? Because this revolution is being televised, it's being normalized to watch our people die. They're not even wearing the disguise. My people, open your eyes. It is time for us to rise, because like the Nation of Islam, I'm unapologetically black. And those who don't like it can get the boot, because in the words of Brother Duke, I'm more concerned with black suffering than white guilt. I'm more concerned with black suffering than white guilt. I'm a black woman built out of fine diamonds and silk. I stand on the back of some strong people, diamonds in the rough. I'm Michelle Obama tough. I'm wise because I don't think y'all had enough. This is our time. Let's reclaim it like anti-vaccine. Black women been voting. We been popping. We been on the scene. Shirley Chisholm, Condoleezza Rice, Barbara Jordan, just to name a few. Check IG file. Let me know what you find when you through. They trying to take rare African flowers and turn us into common everyday roses. They lying to the world. They portraying us as only being loud, ghetto, and drama-filled. They said we trying to tear down that which we have struggled to build. They trying to pull up the roots to stop the growth, but they forgot that we are both. We are women. We are the backbone. We are the seed from which all this has grown. And you ask me why do I rise, and I say where do I begin? I am the fist in the air. I am the brick house that makes you stop in your tracks and stare. I take water and turn it into food. I am the beat behind the groove. I am black gold. I am woman vivacious and bold. I'm the one who would slay herself on a slave block to make sure her king wasn't sold. I am dynamic and I can be anything. I'm these raindrops to tell you to take preparation for this storm I'm about to bring. And in the words of my sister Maya, I rise. I rise. I rise.
I'm here today as a proud member of NARAL Pro-Choice Nevada. I live in Reno, and yesterday I marched in Reno, and then I got on a bus and I made the long trip with a bunch of other NARAL members on the feminist road trip. Because that's what we do. We persist and we resist. Just like during the legislative session, we fought hard to get legislation passed that increased access to birth control for women all across the battle-born state. And 2018 is our time to hold our legislators accountable for thinking that they have the authority to make decisions about our bodies. When we stand together, when we march together, but especially when we vote together, we are an unstoppable force for good. And as members of NARAL, we find strength in our unity and common goals of protecting women's reproductive rights. So find a clipboard and join us today, and never forget to vote pro-choice.
How are y'all doing today? My name is Ashley Bowman, and I'm a student at Nevada State College. I'm a dual major in the fields pertaining to nursing and deaf studies. My family is from Louisiana and West Africa, Nigeria. I am the true definition of an African American. I'm excited and delighted to be here with y'all today, to be in this creative space with such phenomenal women, to be doing this today, because that's what it's all about. Using your voice, making things happen, voting, standing for what you believe in. Let's continue this movement, ladies. My name is Jasmine Simon. Make some noise if you're a UNLV rebel, alumni, or just a supporter. Now make some noise if
of you put yourself through school? How many of you have a full-time job, a part-time job, or even do a gig on the side? Now make some noise out there if you're a single mom. All of these things you guys have cheered for is who I am. I'm a volunteer with Make It Work Nevada. I fight to build a world that I'm proud to see my daughter raised in. I make it work. I make daily sacrifices so that my daughter can have a bright future and access to all of her needs. Now I have some questions for you. How many of you have worked or commuted to work within 24 hours, the entire 24 hours? Do you know what that's like? Well, I do. I know what it takes to make ends meet. And as a black woman, that's just what we do. I know what it does to work tirelessly without a thank you. Until recently. Sorry, my nose is running. In this moment, so many of us are talking about people like me. So many of us are thanking people like me. So many of us are taking the power like people like me and the issues that people like me face without even talking to me. And I'm here to say thank you for joining this fight. Thank you for being here in Las Vegas today. Thank you for fighting for women like me. But don't fight for women like me unless you plan to fight with women like me. Today I stand alongside 3 phenomenal young ladies. And all of you in the audience, cisgender and transgender women, I thank you for showing up. Now I ask you to do better by putting legislators in office who listen to women like all of us. Thank you.
Hi, y'all. My name's Caitlin Caruso, and I use they and she pronouns. It would be remiss in this moment of unity to not acknowledge the young folk resisting. We're here, we are powerful, and we are leaders. We won't be ignored, this is ours. Young people too have demands. We see how the fight for immigrant rights, LGBTQ rights, racial justice, economic justice, and reproductive health are tethered together. The needs of young people and the marginalized must be centered. When people living in poverty, especially young people and people of color, are denied choice, when they suffer from unjust barriers like the Hyde Amendment, young people fight back. It's more than just the Hyde Amendment. It's state-sanctioned violence like the prison industrial complex, the criminalization of blackness, drug users, poverty, those engaging in the sex trade, mass deportations, not as a legacy of Trump, rather as a legacy of our former friend, Deporter-in-Chief. We have always fought for our vision of liberation. It's the allotting of 3 minutes for 4 young folk and threatening to cut a black trans activist from the program if they talk over. It's the Women's March refusing to represent the true folk who are doing this work and continuing to exclude trans and non-binary folk from this march. We need to be listening to the youth voices. After all, your liberation is tied to ours, and you need to start acting like it. To the young people who are fighting every day for the safety and liberation of all people, I see you, I respect you, I fight with you. This is ours, and it's time to make it clear that this movement has been ours. The movement continues to ignore this, as we've seen. Our allies, like the Women's March, try to push young people to the side by cutting our time. Our allies tokenize us to seem inclusive, and they attempt to silence us when we are the ones actually doing the work. It's time y'all stop ignoring young folk, because we're paying attention to who the wolves are in the sheep's clothing. We continue to force change in our movements, in the adults around us. We continue to resist to make this world a more equitable one. So know this is ours.
Y'all still fired up? Oh man, I'm fired up. Y'all ready for our next powerful speaker? So I want you to give it up real loud for a proud Latina whose family hails from the
the beautiful country of Nicaragua. She is the political director of one of my new favorite organizations, the bold, the organized, the powerful, indivisible. Give it up for Maria Urbina.
Hello, Nevada. Woo! Yeah, you'll notice I said it right. That's because I'm proud to be from Nevada. I'm so proud to be here today. I grew up in Carson City, just a few hours north from here, and it's a huge honor to share this stage right after young people took this stage and told us our truths. So thank you so much to the young students and activists who just left this stage. It's so powerful to be in movement, and it's so powerful to be here today representing Indivisible. So what's Indivisible? What's the Indivisible Guide? A year ago, we weren't even an organization yet. A year ago, we had thousands of groups formed, some even after the Women's March, to fight Trump in opposition to a dangerous agenda. And today we find ourselves with 6,000 activist constituent groups across the country who have said no to fighting against and for Dreamers and fighting against a Trump care that is dangerous for people who rely on health services. So today I'm here to say 2017 was just the start. 2017 was just the start of a woman-led movement that has started to run for office, that's expanded our political opportunities. And in 2018, we've seen nothing yet. I'm so excited to be in movement today with you, and I'm so excited that the Women's March chose such a special place like Nevada. Thank you so much, and la lucha sigue.
She is a powerful, unapologetic black woman. I miss every weekend seeing her beautiful, bold commentary, putting a mirror up to this country and the politics that it puts people of color through. I want you to be real loud and show a lot of love for Dr. Melissa Harris Perry.
Thank you for the shirt, Miss Davis. In March of 1960, Ebony magazine profiled my father, William, and his twin brother, Wes. It's a 3-page spread called Richmond's Genius Twins. It tells the story of how my dad and my uncle are poised to leave their segregated high school and go on to be the first in their family to go to college, and they did. They both became college professors. My uncle made history as the first black man to get an engineering PhD from Princeton. He went on to head the Department of Aeronautical Engineering at MIT, and my father went on to become the first Dean of African American Affairs at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville. Both of them have a legacy of civil rights activism, and they stood together, twin brothers, at the March on Washington.
Between them, the twins have 10 adult children, and all of us retell this story all the time. All of us have a copy of that 1960 Ebony magazine in our house. We trace our origins to the genius twins. But I looked at the story again this morning, and I realized we're wrong. They are not the beginning. Ebony describes my dad and my uncle, saying that they are the sons of a seamstress who is a chronic arthritic who earns $35 a week. That's my Grandma Rosa. Ebony magazine says that she earns this $35 sewing slipcovers at home. It's kind of silly to describe my Grandma Rosa like that. You see, Grandma Rosa was a tiny woman with an enormous presence. Her skin was perfect until she was 80 years old. No lines, no wrinkles. She always moved slow because of the pain in her joints and her knees and her ankles. She always rubbed her hands because her fingers and her wrists hurt, but she would stand for hours cooking for me in her kitchen. She would sew me a pink dress every Easter. And in the summer of 1959, when my uncle and my dad got a chance to go to a summer program, she let them go, even though they weren't going to work that summer, and that meant they weren't going to earn any money that summer, and that meant they weren't going to buy any coal to heat the house that winter, and that meant she was going to be cold. In my family, we always act like my father and my uncle are the beginning. But it was my Grandma Rosa. She is every bit the genius that her sons were. She might have made money sewing slipcovers, but my Grandma Rosa could make a wedding dress without a pattern. Her body hurt, but she said it was okay for them to go to school even though she was going to be cold, because she knew they had dreams. It was Grandma Rosa who took seriously the idea that all people are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It was my Grandma Rosa who made America great. In a country that sold her grandmother on a street corner just a few miles from where she lived, in a country that offered her no warmth and no resources and no pattern, my Grandma Rosa stitched together generations of possibility for her children and her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren. Saying thank you to black women is not a damn hashtag. I am here to say thank you to Grandma Rosa. And I am going to spend my life speaking and writing and working and thinking and voting to try to say thank you to Grandma Rosa. I'm going to try to be worthy of her sacrifices, and I tell you what, when somebody mistakes me for the maid, when somebody mistakes me for the help, when they think that they are making me small by doing that, they're going to straighten my back, and they're going to square my shoulders, because of course I look like the maid, because Grandma Rosa was the maid, and I'm only here because of the maid. Thank you, Grandma Rosa.
We gon' walk it out and all day. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,008 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Carmen Perez. Man, look at this sight, ladies. What a beautiful sight to see. So many of you from different walks of life. Many of you who just woke up. Many of you who've been organizing for years. Friends, family, and allies. Estoy muy orgullosa de estar aquí en frente de todos ustedes, representando a mi comunidad como una latina, a Mexican-American woman, a chicana. I am proud to stand alongside my fellow national co-chairs, Tamika Mallory, Bob Bland, and Linda Sarsour. And amongst all of you, as you all have shown up again for the rights of women. And when we say women, we mean all women. As we begin 2018, I want us to dig deeper into our allyship and transition into becoming accomplices. Accomplices for justice. Of course, we understand, and it's extremely common for us to know, that there's a lane for everyone. There's an entry point for all of you to get involved. But at this point, we need to move beyond the symbolism of the Women's March and acknowledgement of injustice because our lives depend on it. And as we stand here today in Las Vegas, yes, we chose Las Vegas, ready to kick off our Power to the Polls. Our government is failing to defend our undocumented brothers and sisters and siblings against the daily ripping apart of our families across this country. Let's be clear. Some of us didn't cross the border. The border crossed us. And not just borders, because let's also remember immigrants from Asia, the Middle East, Europe, and Africa. Let's not ever limit ourselves, our reach, our influence, our activism based on the borders and barriers forced upon us, because no human being is illegal. And when we think about our influence and how many millions of people marched yesterday and last year, we know we are capable of grabbing Congress by the midterms and making sure our values are prioritized. Throughout the year, we boycotted, we called our senators, we signed petitions, we protected our neighbors, we had daring discussions, we ran for office, we held perpetrators accountable, we all shattered glass ceilings. Now it's time for us to build and transform not just these systems, but ourselves, to create a more equitable world rooted in radical love. I run a national organization called the Gathering for Justice, dedicated to ending child incarceration. And in 2005, our elder and founder, Harry Belafonte, convened his peers, elders of the civil rights movement, to look at child incarceration as a moral imperative. I remember hearing the words of Ruby Dee as she addressed her peers with anger and passion. She said, "I have come to places like this so many times before, and I leave without an assignment. I need an assignment." So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give y'all an assignment. I'm gonna ask you to find your lane. We are powerful beyond measure, and together we can accomplish so much for our communities. But it will take all of us,
And remember, there's a lane for you. Stay consistent, as we all have the duty to take an active role in standing for all our communities and have daring discussions. And as Einstein has said, if I were to remain silent, I'd be guilty of complicity. We cannot be silent. Enough of keeping our politics to ourselves. Get political at the dinner table, with your friends, at your place of worship. And this may be a little controversial, but I need you to become an accomplice. There's a difference between being woke and being transformational. Don't just acknowledge the system is broken. What are you going to do to fix it? What is at stake for you in your community? What can you contribute to this movement? Because being woke is not enough. Not at this moment. And I have to remind you all, because we are here today for power to the polls. And so we need you to grab them by the midterms. Power to the polls isn't just about voting in numbers never seen before, although we know we can do that, right? It's about filling Congress with the people who prioritize our values and our communities. It's about transforming these systems that were intentionally built to marginalize people and foster inequality. And lastly, let us not forget our brothers and sisters and family members that are incarcerated. Let us not forget those that don't have a voice because they can't be here because they're locked up. And so, when you don't see your community at the table, make sure to pull up a chair. And if you're white, scoot your chair over a little. Make room for us. It's gonna take all of us to build the beloved community that Dr. King dreamt of. It's gonna take us all. So let us get to work. Sí se puede.
Co-chairs of the Women's March on Washington. And this is my boss, Chloe Folger. Now, exactly 1 year ago, I came up to a stage similar to this in Washington, D.C. with Chloe, who had just turned 2 months at the time. My daughter was born just 9 days into the planning of Women's March. And, thank you. Oh, by the way, my baby ate my speech. Yeah, she really did. But I bring my daughters up here not because it's easy, not because it's practical, but because it's hard. And because they deserve to be here with me. Because they are the future of this country. I didn't step into the space of activism and organizing until November 8th, 2016. And my absence in this space is something that I will think about for the rest of my life. But my daughters and all of our children can have a lifetime of activism starting right now, and you can lead them. When I looked at the televisions yesterday as we finished our planning and saw marches across the world and thought about all the events today and how many of them are even larger than when we did the Women's March on January 21st. I think about this movement much like I think about my daughter. It's just starting, it's just beginning, and we are just growing. And much of this work is us growing together, because while my fellow co-chairs, Carmen Perez, Tamika Mallory, and Linda Sarsour, and so many of you in this audience have had a lifetime of activism, a lot of us, particularly us white women, have a lot of catching up to do. Many of us are just awakening to our complicity in upholding the system of white supremacy that this country was founded on. And this year, it has been my great privilege to see the strength, the resilience, the vision, and the critical thinking of the women of color who are leading this movement and leading this country. They remind me often that if you do something for me, without me, you are doing it to me. So, this kickoff is called Power to the Polls. But when we bring our power to the polls, and I'm speaking specifically to white ladies here, we need to bring our voice and our vote not just for ourselves, and not just for the issues that directly impact us and our families, but for the issues of all marginalized communities. We must vote for the dreamers. We must vote for Indigenous women who are missing and murdered in alarming numbers. We must do it for trans women of color, for sex workers, for all of our Black and brown communities, to end police brutality. It can't just be about reproductive health and gender parity. Women are not a monolith. We live multi-issue lives, and white women, we have the power to transform things by decentering ourselves, by bringing room into the table the way that I've experienced with my fellow co-chairs, and I can tell you, it has benefited me as much as the rest of the movement. So, this year, I know for many of us has been exhausting and exhilarating, and for many of us, we've never been more challenged in our lives. But this is just the beginning of a journey. And so I have a few tips for those of you who want to continue on this journey into 2018 and beyond. When you are working with our most marginalized communities, really hear their stories. Really listen to what they are saying. Listen to their critiques. Do not reject them. Listen to their strategies and do what they say. Follow their lead. Support their campaigns. Don't just come up with what you think is a great idea and then go out and do it. Okay? And then also learn from their examples. Confront the implicit bias and the racism that you have within yourself on a daily basis. This is an internal process we all must do. Hold other white folks accountable, especially those you're closest to. Ultimately, it will make you closer to them when they come out on the other side and see that none of us are free until all of us are free. So, marching is not enough. Wearing a Black Lives Matter tee is not enough. Posting on social media, not enough. I know we're tired. I know we're frustrated. I know we got a clown in the White House. all of you for being here today. We chose Nevada for a reason. And now, my fellow co-chair, Tamika Mallory, is going to share more about our plan for 2018.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's much more coming. Just so you know, we have some great performances that will be coming up, and we want you all to be here. I know it feels a little cold. I'm actually freezing, but somebody on our team told me to shut up and come out here and say what I'm supposed to say, so let me do that. Thank you all for being here, first of all. Let me tell you that all of you are the wind beneath our wings. We cannot do this work without each and every one of you who is here today. I want to give a special shout out to someone in this crowd. I'm only going to do one, but it's really important that I say something about a black woman who I called in Nevada and asked her to stand with me to help us make this happen. Her name is Sheila Collins, and I want to say thank you, Sheila, for all that you did. Y'all can give Sheila a little more love. She got all of y'all here. Between her and Deborah and all those who worked, we want to say thank you to the Collins family. Now, in this year since the Women's March on Washington happened, women have continued to win. We continue to win because we continue to organize and to show up. That's what winning is about right now, continuing to show up. Our voices, though, have to get louder. And most people believe that women are just loud anyway. And that's okay. To hell with it. Turn it up. Be louder. Don't worry about that. But now we cannot just be loud with our mouths. We must be loud with our votes, ladies and gentlemen who are with us. We have very specific work to do. People are counting on us. You know the names. They've already told you, and you know who's hurting. Even though many of you may turn a blind eye, you know who is hurting in this nation. Don't come to this rally today and sit here with your pink hat on, saying that you're with us and you're nowhere to be found when black people ask you to show up in the streets to defend our lives. Our job in 2018 is to make good on all the times that you left us out here in the cold. Stand up for me, white woman. Come to my aid. You say you want to be my friend. I don't want to hear it from your mouth. I want to see it when you go to the polls in the midterm election. We must build an inclusive movement in this country. We have not done it just because we are all here today. There are women in Nevada who did not feel that they were a part of this. They're black women, and it hurt me to my heart to come here today knowing that many of them stayed home. They didn't stay home because of me. I can't take it personal. They stayed home because they are tired of showing up for you and allowing you to stand on their backs and do nothing to protect our lives. Black women that came from Africa, black women to call Africa a shithole country. Donald Trump, you need to know, it further shows your disrespect for women because Africa is the mother of all civilization. So we don't come from shithole countries. But Donald Trump, let me tell you something. You are an asshole. We have the power. We have the power. And with all movements like this one, that's going to show up to complain that they weren't invited even though they got every email. They knew about the meetings, but they didn't show up because their job is to create division. Be not swayed, brothers and sisters. Dr. Dorothy Height said, women seldom do what we want to do, but we always do what we have to do. We have to stay together. We have to march together. We have to organize together. We have to mobilize together. And we have to vote together, even when we don't like one another. We have the power to change every policy and make every elected official work for us. But they cannot see division among us because they will go and do nothing for the people. We must stand up and be loud and be bold. The same way we were in Alabama. In Alabama, we went there and said, hell no. A man who was running around malls, looking at teenagers, chasing little girls around. You can't be a senator in this country. And black women said, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. But white women, I want you to know that over half of you voted still the wrong way. From Emmett Till all the way to today, there is a problem in your community. It is not my job to fix it for you. It is your job to get uninvited from Thanksgiving and Christmas and all the other holidays because I want you to say, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Ladies and gentlemen who stand with us, and our brothers and sisters and folks who are gender non-conforming, we see you. Our trans brothers and sisters, we see you. Stop looking for someone else to lead you. Don't look to your left, don't look to your right. Look in the damn mirror. You are the leader. It starts with you. Go forward and do what you have to do. When they say get back, we say fight back. Get back. Get back. Get back. God bless you. Go in peace and do the work. Man, you all fired up? My name is Linda Sarsour, and I'm one of the national organizers with the Women's March. Some things have changed, but other things don't change. I stand here before you still unapologetically Palestinian American. Unapologetically Muslim American. Unapologetically from Brooklyn, New York. What have I been doing the last year? Waking up every morning in perpetual outrage. We should be ashamed to live in a country where they have pinned children who need access to health care against undocumented children who deserve to live in this country. They call us controversial. They say we make too much trouble. What I say to them is that well-behaved women rarely make history. We, my sisters and brothers, are in the business of making history. We stand on the shoulders of those before us who sacrificed for us to be here today. There's a lot
ideology. They say we're radical, that we're leftists. Sisters and brothers, there's nothing radical or leftist about believing that all people deserve access to health care. There's nothing radical or leftist about believing that all people should be able to worship freely in these United States of America. There's nothing radical or leftist about believing that undocumented people should be able to live safely and freely in these United States of America. There's nothing radical or leftist about declaring loudly and proudly that Black lives matter. So I'm the one who's here to tell you that we're going to win this year. We will win. This is not an opinion, it is a fact, because women are going to bring us to victory. Not only will we win this year, because that's a fact and inevitable, but we're going to make history together. Sisters and brothers, in the great state of Idaho, we are going to elect the first Native American woman governor, Representative Paulette Jordan. In the great state of Georgia, we are going to elect the first African American woman, Stacey Abrams. In the great state of Michigan, we're going to elect the first Muslim American governor, Abdul Sayed. So we want you to know that we are a group of women with a plan. And we're ready to go to work and put it all on the line. Power to the Polls is a national voter registration and voter engagement program. With our partners across the country, we will register 1 million new voters. We are very proud of our political engagement committee at the Women's March, led by Ted Jackson and Natasha Williams. And our team is up here today. And we started in Nevada, in the Silver State, because we know you're going to set the tone and the precedent for the rest of the country. You already showed us what you got in Nevada in 2016, and you're going to show the rest of the country what you got in 2018. I want that governorship, and I want Dean Heller out of a job in 2019. This tour just started and we're kicking it off here, but we're proud to tell you about the next 3 states we're going to. Get ready for us, Lone Star State, we're coming to Texas. Get ready for us, Pennsylvania. And we're gonna go right to the center of the country. Get ready for us, great state of Ohio. Y'all ready to win? is going to be the most beautiful headline you ever see. Women of the United States of America brought us to victory. That's the story I want to be a part of. But you guys also part of making history, so we counting on you. You got a governor who's term limited, and I told you before, I want that governorship. Not only do we want the governorship, but how proud Nevada would be to have a woman in that governorship. Give it up and show some real love for Chris June Kiliani. Don't go anywhere, because you know we got some performances coming up. Your girl, Faith Evans, and Lettucey. You see, about 20 years ago, I was on this campus called UC Santa Cruz. And I was studying psychology, and I was in a class called Chicana Feminism. And this professor, by the name of Dr. Aida Hurtado, introduced to me the word intersectionality. She talked about making sure that there was representation from different racial and ethnic groups at the table. And at the time, when I was a little 19, 20-year-old, I never knew I was going to actually organize and mobilize with that spirit. And so when we see the Women's March intentionally be intersectional, no, it was this professor that allowed me to learn the true meaning of this. And so I want to bring up Dr. Aida Hurtado, who is a professor of Chicana Studies at UC Santa Barbara. She is a femtor, she is an educator, and she is the true definition of a Chicana feminist. There is no greater pride for a teacher when a student exceeds the professor. Buenas tardes, bella gente de Nevada. This is what feminism looks like. So let me begin with what has become a radical notion at this historical moment. I read books. I teach students to read books. I write books. So why does this matter? Because for a democracy to survive, we need an informed electorate. I come from a family of Mexican immigrants. My parents were migrant farm workers and came to the United States not to get wealthy or because they did not love their country, but but because they wanted their children to obtain an education. I was not only the first one in my family to go to college, I was the first one in my family to finish high school. And because I believe in chain migration, I helped my 3 siblings migrate to higher education and obtain degrees and help build this country. DACA students and their families only want that opportunity to become productive citizens and play a role in building this country. Our efforts, our immigrant efforts, and those efforts of people of color have been met with the hand. Yes, when we tried to vote, they literally gave us the hand. How do they do this? One, by destroying our K-12 system and not giving our young people a substantive education. And no, it is not the fault of the teachers. It is a systemic problem. 2, they pass laws to keep us from voting by requiring extra identification, shortening voting hours, and by increasingly making it more difficult for working people to get to the polls. 3, they discourage candidates by making it impossible to run unless you have millions. 4, only the wealthy, mostly male and mostly white, are deemed worthy of holding office regardless of qualifications. And 5, they created a media narrative that constructs immigrants, people of color, women, gay, lesbians, trans, any kind of diversity as felons, rapists, criminals, and as incompetent. That is the hand that they gave us. But this is going to change in 2018 with our vote. Every time I have voted, I have cried as I filled out my ballot. The awesome privilege of participating and who is going to make decisions for me overwhelms me every single time. When I am in the voting booth, I reflect on the bloodshed, the courage, the struggle of our brothers and sisters in the civil rights movement, in the women's movement, in the Chicano movement, clamoring for the right that I and others have inherited. But when we win, because as our sisters just said, we are going to win in 2018. What will we offer? What will a feminist agenda in government offer? Instead of giving our opposition the hand, we will extend an open invitation to participate. What will this extended feminist hand offer? 1, truth. You never thought that would be so radical. 2, equality for all. 3, social justice. And 4, inclusivity. 5, an intersectional approach to participation so that all forms of inequality are considered simultaneously rather than separate silos, as so eloquently expressed by our organizers today. Ours will be a movement and a government of compassion, as Trayvon Martin's parents advocate in their book, Rest in Power. When they lost their son to gun violence, they did not retreat to revenge. They did not retreat to bitterness, and they did not withdraw from society frozen on time. Instead, their compassion mobilized them to say, never again.
We do not want any parent of whatever race, ethnicity, gender, sexuality, or class to ever suffer this loss. We take their lessons of compassion, and we are fired up and ready to go. We embrace the audacity of hope, and as Dolores Huerta has reminded us for over 50 years, sí se puede. May la Virgen de Guadalupe bless you all.
Don't forget to pick up your Power to the Polls merchandise located between Portal 14 and 15. We have so much more lined up for you, so make sure to stick around. For Faith Evans, Lettucey, and Share. Now, please welcome to the stage the Supervisor of District 6 in San Francisco, Jane Kim.
Good afternoon. My name is Jane Kim, and I serve on the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. And this year, I am running for mayor. I am running for mayor in a race where, for the first time in San Francisco's history, the majority of the candidates are women. And if one of us wins, we will be the first woman in 30 years and only the second woman ever to serve as mayor of our great city by the bay. And San Francisco will be the largest city in our nation to have a woman as their mayor. I am proud to be a woman in elected politics. But politics is still a man's world. In Congress, less than 1/5 of our representatives are women. And in the California State Legislature, barely 1 in 5. How can women, who are more than half of our population, get a fair shake in America when we represent 20% of our elected representatives? The answer is we can't. And that is why we are here today. We are here to say, time's up! Time's up on being ignored. Time's up on being harassed. And time's up on the hopes and dreams of our daughters being valued less than those of our sons. Can we say it here together? Time's up. Our nation's reckoning with sexual misconduct is long overdue. As we consider what comes next, let's remember that sexual harassment is never about sex alone. It's about power. The power to ignore our talents. The power to control our bodies. The power to dictate the terms of our advancement in our chosen profession. But what do we say? Time's up. I don't have all the solution, but I know one thing for sure. The abuses of power that we've seen would not have been tolerated for as long if women made up 50% of our elected officials, 50% of our CEOs, 50% of our judges and college professors, and 50% of artists, directors, and producers who decide how women are portrayed on television, film, and in the news. But maybe we shouldn't stop at 50%. When asked, when will there be enough women on the United States Supreme Court? Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, when there are 9. movement is not about any one woman. It's about all women in every community and in every industry. Here in Las Vegas, thousands of women, predominantly women of color and immigrant women, serve in our hospitality industry. 55% of hotel workers say, and 77% of casino workers say that they've been sexually harassed. As an elected official, I am committed to ending the abuses that no woman should have to endure. But we can't stop there. Equal opportunity means everyone deserves a foundation to a decent life. So that's why I fought for and won free community college for every resident in San Francisco. It's why I am now fighting for a $130 million initiative to make childcare and early childhood education affordable for every family in my city. It's why I negotiate hard and have forced market rate developers to build the most affordable housing units in San Francisco of any city legislature in the last 7 years. And it's why I fought to give minimum wage workers a raise to $15 an hour. And 2/3 of those workers are women. This is what happens when women lead. So to all the young women and girls marching this weekend, let me say this. Time's up on waiting for our turn. I'm not waiting, and neither should you. So let's get to work. Let's get out to the polls. Thank you very much. Thank you to all the organizers of the National Women's March. Thank you to all the ladies who are here today and watching live stream. Thank you very much.
Are you guys fired up? Well, just get ready because we are so pleased to bring to the stage a man who needs no introduction. He is the national co-chair of the Poor People's Campaign and president of Repairers of the Breach. Ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Dr. William J. Barber III.
Hello, Women's March. I come to you today in the spirit of the God who is a mother to the motherless. I come to you today thankful for Natasha and Tamika and Linda and Carmen and Bob and all of you who are here. I come today as a national chair, co-chair of the Poor People's Campaign, a national call for a moral revival. The president repairs the breach. I come to you today in the spirit of Harriet Tubman, who said, I would fight for my liberty as long as my strength lasted, and if the time came for me to go. I come in the spirit of Mother Jones, who said, pray for the dead, but fight like hell for the living. I come in the spirit of Ella Baker, who said, in order for us as poor and oppressed people to become a part of a society that is meaningful, the system under which we now exist has to be radically changed. I come to you in the spirit of Coretta Scott King, who taught us that abuse to women is violence, but starving a child is also violence, neglecting school children is violence, punishing a mother and her family is violence, discrimination against a working person is violence, ghetto housing is violence, ignoring health care is violence, contempt for poverty is violence, and an apathetic attitude that refuses to do anything is also violence. I come to you today in the spirit of my mother, Eleanor Barber, who was the first black woman to integrate public schools in Washington County and still gets up every morning at 83 years old and goes to work And I asked her, why are you going to work? She said, they didn't want me when I came here. Now I'll leave when I get ready. I come to you today as a man who has known abuse. I come to you today in the spirit of Roz Pellis, the manager of the Poor People's Campaign, and Reverend Dr. Liz Theo Harris, the co-chair of the Poor People's Campaign, a national call for a moral revival. And I come to you in the spirit of all the women from America to Africa to Asia to Mexico to Europe, wherever they are. And I come to you in the spirit of Tyler, who I met on the plane late last night from Chicago, who's here in the crowd somewhere. And I come here to declare that if Sojourner Ain't Our Woman Truth and Frederick Douglass and Lucretia Mott, a Quaker, and William Lord Garrison, an abolitionist, could form a coalition to fight for women's suffrage and change America in 1800, so can we. I come here to declare that if Diane Nash and Rosa Parks and Joan Baez and Viola Davis and Martin Luther King and Rabbi Heschel could form a coalition to change America in the 1960s, so can we. We must know that down through history, those who have promoted sexism and violence against women have more often than not also stood on the side of racism and homophobia and religious tyranny and fascism and greed and systemic poverty. Truth is, to be anti-woman is to be against democracy. It is to be anti-justice. It is to be against our deepest moral and religious values. In a nation where women are 35% more likely than men to be poor in America. Women account for 60% of low-wage workers. Together with children, women account for 70% of the nation's poor. Refusing to address poverty and giving welfare tax cuts to the greedy at the expense of the poor and working poor is anti-woman, anti-family, anti-America, and is immoral. Denying health care is anti-woman, anti-family, anti-American, and immoral. And I'm not just talking about the Affordable Care Act. I'm talking about universal health care for every human being as a human right. Participating in voter suppression that allows extremists to cheat in order to get into office is anti-woman, anti-family, anti-American, and immoral. Attacking labor rights is anti-woman, anti-family, anti-American, and immoral. Refusing living wages is anti-woman, anti-family, anti-American, and immoral. Refusing the right of immigrants in a country made up of immigrants. And a group of people talking about meritorious immigration and deciding that they want to put rules in place that their own grandmama, who was an immigrant, couldn't have passed. It's anti-woman, anti-family, anti-American, and immoral. So we must stand together. And I come to my sisters to say the Poor People's Campaign, a national call for a moral revival, stands with the Women's March and your goal to transform America and to have a massive voter mobilization of 1 million new registered voters and to take the power to the polls. On Mother's Day, we will launch the Poor People's Campaign with 40 days of nonviolent civil disobedience, direct action, power building, and voter mobilization with the poor and moral leaders in 25 state capitals and in Ryan and McConnell's office. Our first action will be standing against policies that exacerbate child poverty and cut money for public education. Truth is, my sisters, it's movement time in America. Anytime the nation with a race-driven electoral college turns the presidency over to a narcissistic, egotistical racist that loses by 3 million votes, it's movement time. It's movement time. Anytime the very politicians in the Congress that have claimed Trump is not stable set aside their assessment and push his agenda, it's movement time. We can't wait 4 years. We have to move extremists now out of the Congress and out of state houses. Do you know that if we registered 30% of the black voters in the southern states and connected those with white people that are progressives and Latino, Alabama doesn't have to be an anomaly. We can win in Florida and Georgia and North Carolina and Texas and Mississippi. We need a mid-year election turnout like never before. It's movement time. And so finally, since it's Sunday, I come here today as a preacher in the prophetic tradition and in the spirit of a woman in the Bible named Deborah. Deborah was a woman in the Bible, in the book of Judges. The nation in her day was under assault by a loudmouth, egotistical, abusive, narcissistic, lying leader named Caesarea and his court. But Deborah wasn't scared. Some of the men didn't want to take on Caesarea. They were willing to accept what was going on, but Deborah said, it's time to fight. So she had one message for those who wanted to save the soul of the nation. It was, get up. And I say to you today, we've been crying and whining long enough, talking about what happened in 2016. It's time to get up and make something happen. It's time to get up and register everybody you know to vote. It's time to get up and take the power to the poll. Instead of deporting immigrants, we need to deport some of these politicians out of their office. It's time to get up. If we ever needed to vote, we sure do need to vote now. And anybody that doesn't vote, my grandmama had a word for you. It's called trifling. It's time to get up and know that love can win, and justice can win, and righteousness can win when we organize, black and white and brown and red and yellow and old and young and Jewish and Muslim and Christian and those who do not have a faith but they believe in a moral agenda. It's time to get up, gay and straight. No more fighting each other. Let's fight racism. Let's fight sexism. Let's fight extremism. It's time to get up and demand justice for all. It's time to get up because we are the people that know we can take a word like shithole and turn it into fertilizer and grow a new moon. It's time to get up and vote people out of office who do wrong. It's time to get up and speak truth to power. And if I could channel my inner hip-hop, we ain't meant to survive, cause it's a setup. And even though you're fed up, you got to keep your head up. Oh child, it's gonna get easier. Oh child, it's gonna get better. Ooh child, things are gonna get brighter because we're gonna get up. Get up, get up, get up.
She works hard on it every single day within our space. Give us some love because Reverend Barber just stole all the wins.
Okay, so I'm going to turn it down just a notch. I just want to say anniversaries are incredible. This is like our anniversary, our March anniversary, so happy anniversary. But I have an important anniversary too. 20 years ago in April, this April, I was on a date with a friend in Atlanta. We were robbed at gunpoint. Both of us were shot, and Philip didn't make it. That night, I didn't realize it then, but I had joined a vast community of victims who had been impacted by gun violence. People like me who had been shot, plus people whose mothers and fathers and children and brothers and sisters and wives and aunts and uncles and cousins and friends and teachers and co-workers had all been killed by a gun. But I like to say now that we're not victims, we're survivors. A lot of us stand on stages like this one or in the halls of Congress telling our stories and the stories of our voiceless loved ones, reliving our trauma so that we can help save others from joining this wretched club that nobody wants to be in. And now, here in Las Vegas, we have an unfathomable number of new members who have joined us. An entire city devastated by gun violence. Because a bullet doesn't just affect the person it hits. It's like a pebble falling into a pond. It ripples and ripples and ripples throughout an entire community and beyond. So here is my plea. I urge you to demand Congress to pass federal life-saving gun reform legislation now. And if they don't do it, elect representatives who will. And not just that, and this is really important, nobody talks about this. I implore you to support all survivors of gun violence. The gun violence that you see on TV for a week after a mass shooting, but also the gun violence of suicides, of robberies, of day-to-day living that happens every day in America, 33,000 a year killed by guns. This is hard work. PTSD is a debilitating reality that we all live with every day, and I can tell you after 20 years, it does not go away. 10 days ago, my dear friend Eddie, a survivor and tireless activist who I marched with last year in DC, took his own life. A bullet never entered his body, but gun violence killed him anyway. 37 years after witnessing his mother gunned down in front of him. To put this in perspective, I just found out today that 4 survivors of the Las Vegas shooting have since committed suicide. I ache for this community because I know the long road ahead, but I also know that you will survive. My friends in Sandy Hook say 2 things that resonate with me. They say love wins, and they say honor with action. So it is with deep compassion and gratitude that I welcome Christine Carria, who was at Route 91 on October 1st. She's standing with Heather Goose, who was also there, and Sheikah Hamilton from the Million Mile March and Brady campaign.
I've never done this before, but good afternoon, everyone. My name's Christine Carria. The last time I was in a crowd this size, it didn't end up so well. to run for my life. I'm a survivor of the largest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. October 1st forever changed my life. Although I have no bullet wounds, I was physically injured and have endured many ongoing complications. But perhaps what's most daunting are the emotional injuries and the invisible scars that will remain with me for the rest of my life. I know that only by taking positive action will I truly be on the journey to healing. And that most importantly, not doing anything was just not an option. While doing research, I came across the Brady campaign to prevent gun violence. I had certainly heard of the organization before. I knew my values aligned with theirs, but now it is time to take action. Today, almost 4 months after the shooting, I'm now the president of the Las Vegas chapter, along with my president, my fellow survivor, and hundreds of others. Last month, 2 other survivors and I traveled to Washington, D.C. to testify on the Senate floor to ban bump stocks. This can and will happen. We felt and saw firsthand the power of what just 3 women can have when they have a message this profound. We met with senators and House representatives from multiple states. We know who hurt us, and we certainly know who will get our votes. Now, just imagine what thousands of women can achieve by making a commitment and then taking action. It was hard being here and speaking in front of a large crowd, and also just plain scary. Ever since that night, that unthinkable night at the Route 91 Music Festival, I'm always overlooking my shoulder and thank God, I'm looking around and I see the snipers and thank God for them. But here I am, and I'm so proud to be speaking to you at this historic event, at this women's rally. And like I said, doing nothing's not an option. No one should be afraid for their life to attend a concert, or go to a movie, or a nightclub, or to the grocery store, or go to school. And I definitely don't want or feel like I should be in fear to be shot or murdered at the one place I'm finding comfort right now, at church, like in Sutherland Springs. Voting for politicians who support background checks on all gun sales, keeping guns out of the hands of domestic violence offenders, and creating a national response and a bill to address the staggering needs of all mass shooting victims is what's right, and it needs to happen. We have the right. We have the responsibility as women to register and vote on behalf of candidates who promote these issues. It's case in point. A woman is shot and killed by a current or former partner every 16 hours. However, in states where expanded Brady background checks are enforced, that rate is decreased by 47%. Gun violence is a woman's issue. It is. I'm here today to speak for those who no longer have a vote. I'm here today asking you to stand with me. It's our time. Our time. Raise your voices. Back it up with action. Show that we women aren't backing down from these issues. We're strong. We're committed. We are bringing our power to the polls. I'm going to live for those who died. Thank you.
Y'all still fired up? I can't really hear y'all. Y'all still fired up? Because the next woman that is about to come across this stage is the most prolific, courageous black woman I know, along some others, in America. So I need y'all to be fired up. I'm gonna do a quick mic check. Who's stage? Nina stage. Who's stage? Nina stage. Who's stage? All right, so I'm about to bring out the Honorable State Senator Nina Turner, President of our revolution.
Ladies! Man, I want to thank Natasha for that wonderful, wonderful introduction. And it is such a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. Can I just get a little housekeeping out the way? If I might, if I may. You know, I know some folks are, there's some folks who like to separate folks. And we don't really have time for that. The Women's March, the organizers of this march is being led by women of color. Can we get an amen on that? But within that construct of being led by women of color, I gotta put a special message out for black women. Is that all right? So to black women, I want you to not allow anybody to make you feel marginalized. And if you feel as though you are not being invited or getting the respect that you deserve, you gotta do what Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm did. And not only do you bring your seat, but baby, it may come a time when you gotta kick the door in. Can I get some on that? Black girl magic is real. So now, meanwhile, back in my speech, I had to get that off my chest. Because some folks don't want to give the Women's March the credit that they deserve for being an organization, a movement that is led by women of color. So we just had to get that out the way. So I'm feeling all kinds of people this afternoon, but I'm feeling Dr. Maya Angelou, if I may. And she said the following. She said, it may be necessary to encounter defeats so that we know who the hell we are. In other words, sisters and brothers, it might be necessary for time to time for us to go through some stuff for us to be reminded who the hell we are. And I just want to say, sisters, because I'm feeling this thing, and I know that a year ago, the women all over this world showed not just this nation, but this world who the hell we are. But we can't just wait and worry about the person in the White House. We got to be on and popping every single election cycle, power to the polls. So who the hell are we? We are the bold and the beautiful. Using our gifts as a guiding light of hope for all my
as we fight against hate and half-truths and hopelessness. But do not fear, sisters, because the young and the restless are uniting with the seasoned and the sensational. And we will reclaim the days of our lives. Despite the scandal around us, we must reclaim the days of our lives as we search for tomorrow. A brighter, vibrant, inclusive, revolutionary tomorrow. And as the black lightning streaks the sky and the Black Panther leads the nation, we know that this world is rising with Wonder Women. Can a sister get? This age, this time, this moment is being called and led by Wonder Women to lead and to leverage and to love. Because love is the fiercest of them all. You know, sometimes we got this thing twisted. There's a song in the African American tradition that said, "Love lifted me." Love is not weak. Love is powerful. Love is fierce. Love is beautiful. Love is the fiercest of them all. And it is because of love that we assemble here today to reaffirm our commitment to each other, to our communities, to this nation, and to this world. Love is the fiercest of them all. It is because of love that we protested in Ferguson. It is because of love that we feel the pain of our sisters and brothers in Flint, Michigan, who still don't have clean water. It is because of love that we demand that our sisters and brothers in Flint, Michigan, finally, after almost 4 years, get some clean water. It is because of love that we know that we must stand side by side with the folks in the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. They shouldn't have to beg for our help. It is because of love that we march. It is because of love that we assemble. It is because of love that we run. It is because of love that we hope. It is because of love that we dream. And can I just say this, sisters? See, our mission is so high, we can't get over it. And our mission is so low, we can't get under it. And our mission is so wide, we cannot get around it. See, we're not looking for nobody else to do what all of us are called and assigned to do. And so whether that is running for office or supporting somebody who's running for office or getting involved in your community, when you look to the left or you look to the right, baby, it's you. The most important look is the look in the mirror. Love is the fiercest of them all. And ladies, can I just say this? I know we got some men around, but I got to talk to the sisters. That it is our obligation that even if we don't agree, to do so in a way that is filled with love. Hard on the issues, soft on people. You know, we just celebrated, and it always amazes me how every February we assemble as a nation and we give a shout out of praise to the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who deserves all of that praise. But yet we must reconcile in our lives, in our lifetime, in this moment right now, to not only pay homage to him and pay homage to Coretta Scott King, but we have to reconcile in our minds that we are going to do what is necessary to walk that path. And it is hard sometimes, but can I just say this? Dr. King once said that darkness can never do away with darkness, only light can. And hate cannot drive out hate, only love can. Love. Love. Love.
of them all. So sisters, we have work to do. For generations yet unborn, we must stand up, we must be up, we must lift up, we must fight up. But in all that we do, we must do it in. And I know it's hard sometimes, I do know, I get it. Because some folks have you speaking in tongues, where my church folks at, y'all know what I'm talking about. But we are on assignment, and we were called for this moment, for this time, for this mission. Right now, it is not enough to talk about our foremothers and our forefathers. The question becomes, what are we going to do to be the change? What are we going to do to stand up, to speak up, to shout up, to be up, to make a difference in this world right now? Love, 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 love. Love is the fiercest of them all. God bless you, Women's March.
Greetings. My name is Ginny Suss, National Organizer for the Women's March.
My name is Tabitha St. Bernard Jacobs, and I am the Youth and Family Coordinator for the Women's March. We are honored to bring Lettucey to the stage, an R&B singer and songwriter from New Orleans. Her third album, Lost and Found, earned 2 Grammy Award nominations, including Best New Artist in 2008.
She also served as a welcomed guest at the White House during the Obama administration to advocate and participate in Michelle Obama's Turnaround Arts program, which engages students in the arts and promotes critical thinking and creativity. In addition to all of that, she is an educator, author, entrepreneur, philanthropist, producer, and innovator. Please welcome Lettucey.
I don't know about you, but I think it's time to change up, right? Hey, yes. Listen, I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, and I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, and I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. Oh, it's been a long time coming, and I know a change gonna come. Oh, things for a very long time. We always running things. I want to thank Tamika for having me here. Thank you, my love. You are amazing. And all the women here, you make me so proud. Thank you so much. You're inspiring me and so many of us. This next song I wrote when I was having a woman kind of day. I didn't feel like coming in the studio and recording. I didn't want to be there. And I had two men I was writing with, and they were like, "You just being a woman." I said, "Yes, I am." So this song is called Pieces of Me. It's about the complexities of being a woman. It's all right to be vulnerable, to be strong, to be tired, to want more, to say I deserve more, and to say no, I'm not having that. So here's a song for all my ladies out there. It's called Pieces of Me. Here we go. People just don't know what I'm about. They haven't seen what's there behind my smile. There's so much more of me I'm showing now. These are the pieces of me. When it looks like I'm up, sometimes I'm down. I'm alone even with people all around. But that don't change the happiness I found. These are the pieces of me. So when you look at my face, you gotta know that I'm made of everything, love and pain. Oh, pieces of me. Just like every woman I know, I'm complicated, oh sure. But when I love till there's no love no more. So many colors make up the woman that you see. A good friend and lover, yes I am. I can run the business and make time for fantasies. Now I'm gonna make mistakes from time to time. But me and
pleased to welcome today Alejandro Castillo from the YWCA USA.
Good afternoon, Las Vegas. Buenas tardes, mi gente. Are we ready? Are we ready to have our say? 1 year ago, we marched for justice. We marched for freedom. We marched for opportunity. And today, we march again so our voices are heard in the courthouse, the State House, and yes, the White House, from sea to shining sea. A week ago, we celebrated Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday and remembered his words. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. When I worked for President Obama, fighting to build communities instead of breaking them down, I always carried with me the reminder that he added to Dr. King's beautiful belief. President Obama said, "The arc of the universe may bend towards justice, but it doesn't bend on its own." Make no mistake, today in Las Vegas, we stand together to bend the arc towards the justice we seek. And as I begin my first year as CEO of YWCA USA, the words of Dr. King ring ever more true and they ring ever more urgent. Now, they say that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but not today. What is happening today in Vegas can't stay in Vegas. We must make it happen across the United States every single day. Together we must match protests with purpose. Together we must marry marches with mission. And together we must meld our hopes and dreams with real action on the ground and the voting polls. My sisters, from today forward, every day is a march. Every day, a march for racial justice, a march for economic equity, a march for health care, a march for women's rights, a march for voting rights, a march for the rights that each and every one deserves. 160 years ago, bold women with a dream built YWCA. Not just to speak out, but to have a say. Today, YWCA serves 2.2 million women and girls throughout our 213 associations in 46 states and the District of Columbia. YWCA provides dignity for the survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence. We provide education for the girl who dreams of a better life. Fairness for the mother who dares to believe that her children could live in a world where having a woman of color is no longer a deportation or a death sentence. YWCA, we are not new, but we are true. We know that women won't be empowered until we find the power to make racism an ugly period of American history. At YWCA, we are proud of our past, but we are even more bolder with regards to our future, because we know that women are the champions of change. When they try to break us down, and when they try to build us out. So this afternoon, let us match protest with purpose and turn marches into milestones. March remembering that the words of another king, Coretta Scott King, who said, "Women, if the soul of the nation is to be saved, I believe that you must become that soul." Thank you.
So often, women have been written out of history. And last year, we all made history and we refused to let ourselves be written out. And that is why we wrote our book, Together We Rise, which is a book of celebrating all of you. It is the moment in history that includes all of us and everything that we did. And that book is available to be purchased here in the main merch shop. And at the end of this, we are going to have the national co-chairs along with Linda, Tamika, and Bob, and all of the chairs, all of the national organizers are going to be doing a book signing. So please help us with supporting 4 organizations that the book contributions go to. In this book, we talk about intersectionality, and we learned about intersectionality from the amazing, incredible Kimberly Williams Crenshaw. Sisters and siblings, please show your love for our friend, the founder of the African American Policy Forum and the mother of intersectionality, Kimberly Williams Crenshaw.
Showed out. We're doing it again today. We're showing up. We're showing out. It's a beautiful sight here. But let me tell you something. I've been hearing some stuff, and I think we're just going to have to talk about it. There's some people out there who, they say they're our allies, but they say they're worried. They're worried because we're talking way too much about patriarchy and racism and xenophobia, transphobia, homophobia, identity politics, they call us. These are the things that divide us, can't unite us. They long for those days when we could march under one banner, whenever the hell that was. So I'm about to make their head hurt a little bit more right now. Because this black woman right here, right now, is about to talk about black women. We're about to talk about intersectionality and how destructive it is when our movements march the beat of one-stick drummers. That's the real threat here. Because when we do that, we miss things. We're at cross purposes, and it harms us. That's how we wound up with a diminished democracy in which the basic right to vote has been undermined. Did you know that the number of people who lost their right to vote in the last presidential election is more than the margin of victory that put 45 in the White House? Did you know that? People like 100-year-old Grace Hardison, who was turned away in North Carolina when she was purged from the rolls, or Gladys Harris from Wisconsin, who despite having 3 forms of ID, saw her ballot cast out. Millions of people lost their right to vote in 2016. Millions of people. But we would be wrong to think that this problem only started 2 years ago. To really get to the heart of this, we got to go back a way, and we got to talk about a black woman. Now let's just start by thinking about the Supreme Court and that 5th vote that gutted the Voting Rights Act, the most cherished of our victories from the Civil Rights Movement. Let's also think about that 5th vote that gutted campaign finance reforms, turning elections into markets where billionaires win. And while we're thinking about this 5th vote, I want you to remember that one Supreme Court appointment that changed everything. The man who was narrowly confirmed after a black woman named Anita Hill came forward and showed us that he was not the man for the job. listen to her then. But we couldn't, you see, because we were divided between the matter of race and the matter of gender. Particularly painful was some folks, black folks, who argued that sexual harassment was not a black woman's issue, demonstrating profound ignorance about the fact that it was black women that made sexual harassment law. It was black women like Carmita Wood and Michelle Vincent and countless other black women throughout history who have suffered sexual harassment as a condition of work since we arrived on these shores. And too many of our feminist allies thought race had nothing to do with it. So we were divided and conquered because the intersectional history that holds our movements together has been ignored and forgotten. So let's imagine a different story today. What if we had known about how Recy Taylor's tragedy became the linchpin for triumph? Recy Taylor was the black woman who was kidnapped and gang raped by 6 white men in 1944. Now, what's interesting and what makes the difference is not what happened to her that changed history, but her refusal to be silent about it. Now, Recy insisted on injustice. She insisted that justice would be served. And so along with another courageous black woman, she founded an organization that would become the backbone of the Montgomery bus boycott. And as you know, that boycott changed everything. That woman who stood beside Recy Taylor, the one who refused to be silent, was the same woman who refused to go to the back of the bus 11 years later. Her name was Rosa Parks. See, contrary to what we've been told, Parks didn't give up her seat just because her feet were tired. She wasn't a quiet seamstress who just stumbled into history. She was a social activist who cut her teeth by resisting the oppression of black women. She was the one who spoke truth to power when too many white sisters averted their eyes and too many black women looked down in shame. The truth that grounds the social revolt that we've inherited today is the truth of Rosa Parks. This is a moment of her legacy and Recy Taylor's legacy and Ida B. Wells and Paula Murray and Flo Kennedy and Aline Hernandez and Shirley Chisholm and so many more others who refuse to let themselves be divided and conquered so we don't have to ever again. So we can wake up this sleeping giant and take back our future if we learn the lessons of the past. When we take leadership from the margins, things change. So we know we are on the path. When we say time is for us to find that inner black woman and vote. Find the black woman and vote. Thank you very much.
One of our favorite friends, the CEO of Voto Latino, Maria Teresa Kumar.
How are our ladies doing today? I can't hear you. I gotta tell you guys, ladies, from this point, you guys look fabulous, sexy, and fierce. Yesterday marked 1 year since Donald Trump became president of the United States. And today marks the 1 year anniversary that I marched with you ladies in Washington, D.C. to protest his ascension. Through the last 12 months, the Trump administration has pushed an agenda of derision, division, and dismantling.
Every day the president sits in his office, he tries to define who is American. Mr. President, if you're following us on Twitter, if you're watching us and tuning us in the news, lean closer to the screen, because this is what America looks like. While the nation celebrated Martin Luther King last Monday, our modern architect of social justice, I supported Jorge Garcia, a 39-year-old father of two living in Detroit. Jorge became a part of the American fabric when he came here when he was 10 years old. Jorge went to school here, made a life over decades, and the Trump department decided to tear his family apart. He left a 13-year-old and 11-year-old American cruelly, tragically fatherless. Not on our watch. The Garcia's family's heartbreaking story is one of too many. In September, the White House announced to rescind DACA. I can't hear you! Stand up! I can't hear you! Every single day, 122 young people who know no other country but America, who are patriots and who contribute, are losing DACA status. 21,000 teachers are DACA recipients. There are educators. There are loved ones. On March 5th, if we don't get our act together and continue calling and telling us what our American community believes in, 500,000 children will lose their teacher. Not on our watch. In the midst of these crushing stories, though, we find hope. We find hope in Rosa Maria, a 10-year-old girl with cerebral palsy, detained by ICE in an emergency room. We find her that she was released. Why? Because we organized, we mobilized, and we fought for her release. We find hope in the recent elections of Elizabeth Guzman, in Ayala, in Senator Cortez Masto, the first Latina senator from this fine state of Nevada. We find hope in the Me Too movement, joining forces with Time's Up to offer legal services to housekeepers, farm workers, and caretakers so that they too can receive the relief of sexual harassment in the workplace. We are breaking down silos socioeconomically, and we're saying, not on our watch are you going to define who America and what America is. And these women and the 26,000 seeking to run for office, to resist bigotry, fight misogyny, and organize one person at a time, that's what gives us hope. And what is the source of our hope? Look around, ladies. Look around. What gives us hope? Us. Each and every one of us has stood up, doubled down to demonstrate what America stands for, with our votes, with our phone calls to Congress, to defeat the repeal of health care, and standing up for dreamers. And let's not forget that this fight is not easy. We lost our lives to this movement. Heather Heyer, who marched in Charlottesville to protest white nationalists, was run down by a cowardly neo-Nazi. She will forever be an American patriot. She is my hero. And now, there's a power to the polls. Mi gente Latina, I have to speak to you right now because Latinx, my nasty women, my bad hombres, I know what you're feeling and what you're suffering. And the only way we get to the power is the power of the polls. Every single one of us, it's time to register. At Voto Latino, we've registered 500,000 people. Help us register 1 million individuals. We flex our muscle. We tell them what America looks like. And after you register your friends. Show up at the polls. Because after we leave here, let's be clear, it's game on. It's time to sit up, get up, and get them out. Power to you.
over here at the Women's March, and I think you all know this wonderful lady, Carmen Perez. I just want to quickly share with the family that we have in Las Vegas that today is Carmen's birthday, and she just got proposed to backstage, so we're all very excited.
What stays in Vegas what happens in Vegas does not stay in Vegas.
So we are going to introduce Yoshi, Bambi Salcedo, and Trace Lisette, who have led the fight for trans visibility in their communities and around the country.
Their work has lifted up the stories of trans folks in diverse and unique ways with an intersectional and interdisciplinary approach.
Yoshi has been recognized for her work as an advocate for trans women incarcerated in jails and prisons, and as a trans advocate for women of color in Las Vegas.
Bambi's acclaimed documentary, Transvisible, honors the spirit and celebrates the victories of winning in the face of adversity, with a special message to trans immigrant women.
And Trace's stunning portrayal of Shay on Transparent has helped change the landscape of personal storytelling on TV. So without further ado,
let's give them a well welcome
to the stage. Woo!
Hey, Vegas! I'm gonna talk quick because there's a few of us up here. I want to say, I think as we reflect back on 2017, it's important to see how we've endured. And it's important to see this mass awakening that is the silver lining. As an out, proud trans woman, I know it was a challenge to radiate self-love every single day under an administration who has systemically attacked us. To get up every day and make space for myself and my sisters and tell myself that I am worthy in a world of toxic masculinity that fetishizes our bodies but doesn't see the value in our lives when our trans sisters are slain in the streets. So while we're here, I think it's important to take a moment and look around. Look around at your sisters. Look around at the intersecting identities. White, black, brown, trans, cis, undocumented. And it's important for us to remember that there are some of us that are at greater risk than others. And I ask that we take a pledge to take care of one another, because as a collective voice, we are stronger than any one of our voices alone, and none of us ever need to be alone again. The time is up. Time is up on abusing power, on sexual harassment, marginalization, xenophobia, transphobia, and the media turning a blind eye to our trans sisters who have been lost at the hands of anti-trans violence. Men, I'm talking directly to you. You don't get to sit up there and watch trans porn and turn a blind eye when we're murdered in the streets anymore. So let us harness our power and head to the polls, because if you are considered the other, guess what? You're part of the collective minority, which is now the majority. So now we have to show them exactly how fucking powerful we really are.
Good evening, Las Vegas. I'm a proud black trans woman of color. And I stand here fighting for trans women of color and women that are incarcerated. I say that to say this. As long as you can hear my heels tap as I run and file papers for the man that doesn't even know my name, that just calls me hot stuff, you will hear my voice. As the woman and the little girls that are placed into human trafficking, that no one believes their story until they cry out, you will hear my voice. As you sit here and you forget our trans brothers and sisters that have been mentally killed, destroyed, and built down and belittled, you will hear my voice. As I stand here today, this is a voice of a proud trans black woman that I will fight with all my brothers and sisters that stand right next to me. And at the end of the day, as long as you hear the taps of my heels on this ground, you will hear my voice.
What's up, beautiful people? I say, what's up, beautiful people? What's up, beautiful people? A mí me gusta darle gracias a mi poder superior por darme la oportunidad de estar aquí con ustedes. I just honor my higher power for giving me the opportunity to be here with all of you today. I also want to honor the land that we're all standing on today. I also want to honor your presence here today, because without you, there will not be no movement. I am a very privileged trans Latina immigrant woman who has overcome many different challenges, including sexual abuse, harassment, beatings, jail, everything that you can think of, I have survived. But the same issues that I have overcome are the same issues that my trans siblings continue to experience. So I have a call for you. I have a demand for all of you. It's important that we understand that our movement will not advance until all of us walk together to the finish line. And we need to open our minds and our hearts and our fucking pockets to put money into the movement. You know, the theme of this meeting, of this gathering is for us to be empowered to vote, to get those motherfuckers out of office. And we can become empowered to do that, but we have to make sure that those that we put in office, we hold them accountable for the bullshit that they do. They are there for us, not for those companies that give them money. And just as we put them into office, we can get them out. Can we do it? Can we fucking do it? When I say people, you say power. People, 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 people. That's what I'm talking about. Take your power everywhere you go and get those motherfuckers out.
Pushing forwards, but he keeps pulling me backwards. Now I'm standing back from it. I finally see the pattern.
Ladies, don't leave us. Don't leave us. Don't go anywhere. Let me hear you again so I know you're still with us. We're doing a lot of business here today, and it is important that we stay around and listen to the words so we can take it back to our communities. I know the folks in the shade have moved to the sun. If you need to go on that side, do what you gotta do, but we stay here until we finish the business. Y'all with me? Now listen, my sister is coming to the stage, and let me tell you that it is important to me that we hear from her, because it has been a journey of us working together. You all walk around saying Black Lives Matter. You hashtag it. You put it out everywhere you go. And we do believe that Black Lives Matter. My black son's life definitely matters. But there are 3 women who are responsible for that hashtag Alicia Garza. And she is also with the Domestic Workers Alliance. Would you come and tell us why Black Lives Matter? Stand up to your feet and give this sister some love.
How we doing, Las Vegas? Let's just start off by taking a minute to acknowledge the local partners here in Las Vegas that helped to make this happen. Can you give a shout out to the Culinary Union, to Make It Work Nevada, to SEIU, and y'all are registering to vote, right? Okay, so give it up for the C3 table. This is making this happen. Give it up. So let me just start off by reminding us that we are who the world is waiting for. There is no force in the world that is more powerful than those who have been denied justice and safety and dignity. Because these things are our birthright. We depend on each other to survive. Our very human instinct is to ensure life for ourselves and life for the people who we love. So this moment calls us to change the balance of power so that all of us get to access our birthright. Am I right? And we're here today because we are changing the balance of power. Am I right? We have stoked the embers of a fire that has been smoldering, waiting for the oxygen to consume. They can turn the sparks of those embers into flames. And those flames, make no mistake, those flames, that fire is going to erupt. And it will consume all of the old ways of being that have never, ever served us. The ways of being that told us that we need to construct borders and demonize the people who dare to cross them, to pursue their dreams of dignity for themselves and for their families. That day is over. The ways of being that placed Black people in chains and placed us like sardines, back then in the bottoms of boats, but today in cages all across the country. Those days are over. The ways of being that said that women's labor was just a duty that we had to fulfill, that caretaking and picking our food was just what women are supposed to do. The ways of being that said that our bodies are not our own. The ways of being that force us to find dignity in the shadows. This is our birthright, and I hereby declare, and I want you to declare it with me, those days are over. I want you to say it with me. Those days are over. In our movement, the domestic worker movement, we say, tell them slavery is done. Tell them Black Lives Matter. Tell them that women's rights are human rights. Tell them that trans women are women and are worthy of the dignity that is our birthright. Tell them we will not be slaughtered. We will not be killed and flung on the sides of roads and stuffed in trash cans like Indigenous women. Tell them that we have come to reclaim what belongs to us. And in the process of reclaiming what is ours, we must transform our relationships to each other. Because that is what is required of us if we are to survive and if there is to be a future. So let me say this. We're not just what's happening sometime next year. What we are the right now. And we need you right now more than ever. Right now, immigrant
March. My body, my choice applies to all decisions we make for our bodies. On behalf of Women's March, we are proud to say sex work is work. We're even prouder to introduce Chris Sardina, co-director and coordinator of the Desiree Alliance. Desiree Alliance is a coalition of sex workers, health professionals, social scientists, educators, and supporting networks. The Desiree Alliance works to build local and regional leadership and activism in the sex worker community and to advocate for sex workers, human, labor, and civil rights.
Sex worker. As I stand here today, I look out and wonder how many of us unintentionally or intentionally place our boots on our sisters' necks. That under the crushing weight of patriarchy, we divide, we separate, and we silence one another. The learned processes of morality and judgment and laws that hold us down keep us from speaking with one another, keep us from standing together, and keep our gaze from envisioning a rights-based world where equality equals reality. These teachings are deeply ingrained in the fabric of our her stories, and we cannot escape them. But now we stand in a time, place of history where we must unlearn these belief systems. Because if we pretend the hierarchy does not exist within us, we continue to divide and separate and silence one another. We will continue to center the selective few to the battle cry of Me Too and Time's Up and all women, and it becomes a moot point to those this very space loudly quiets down. Our responsibilities are great to one another, and we must ask ourselves the hard question of what has been accomplished untying the knots if we continue to hold on tightly to the rope. I want you to see the sex worker rights movement as part of the solution and not the problem. We are a strong and fierce community made up of every color, every race, every identity, every shape, every economy, every religion, and so much more. Sex workers have been to the United Nations. We've been to the White House, maybe not this term. We're currently in the 9th Circuit fighting for full decriminalization. We've been given national and global audiences, and we get it done. When we literally lay down our bodies to be arrested on the Senate floor for health care, when criminalization still affects people who are living with HIV and AIDS, when the courts continuously hammer down on reproductive rights, health, and justice, when raped women still stand on the he said, she said platform, when accessible child care is still absent, when trans voices are screaming to stop killing them, when women still pay the price of being a wife and mother versus a thriving career, when sex is criminalized in the legal and moral courts, when families become homeless because their paychecks cannot meet the rising cost of gentrifications, when women still take home less pay than men, when children go hungry in the most developed nation in the world, when people of color are incarcerated in the United States at percentages that far exceed any global percentages of incarceration, when blood for oil destroys native lands, when cities and waters are poisoned and undrinkable, when groups of people are deported for dreaming, when the government is brutally attacking everything we have fought for, on the front lines, you will be standing right next to a sex worker. This is my truth as I live it. and I no longer give anyone permission to see me as less than. Don't dismiss my womanhood. I'm a sex worker, and I have the right to be here. Use your vote wisely, live in your truth, burn it all goddamn down, and rise among the ashes.